Right.
So I guess you'll do the honors.
I'll do the honors. That's right. Yeah, we'll let that.
We could really freak them out with a switch. Switch. Wearing the same shirts though.
All right. I think we're probably good to go.
We good to go? Yeah.
Good to go. All right. So
Stop clowning around.
Hi, I'm Tony Massey. I'm a psychiatrist, addiction medicine specialist at Colmac, and sometimes people call me Doc.
And I'm going to go in reverse. I'm Rock.
All right,
and
Rock.
I'm a musician.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a recovering addict. And as Rennie Grant, I am an addictions counselor at Colmac as well. So I'm Rock and he's Doc.
And I'm Doc. Right. Okay, so I think we're going to have a little discussion about a topic that's been out there and see where this goes. I'm not even sure where we'll take this.
This is a hot topic. This is a scary, so you guys are going to hear us say the words, and then some people are going to blow steam and go, what that? And others are going to go, well, that might be a good idea.
I would recommend people sit down before we say this.
If you're in recovery, have a seat.
We're talking about safe houses.
Safe injection houses.
Safe injection houses.
Yeah. Like what the F is that? That's the question I'm hearing people say. Safe injection houses. What is that?
Well, let's just for people who maybe haven't heard the term, just kind of briefly go over what we're talking about. And the notion is this, that a local or even a national government may have designated sites where people can come and go freely. Yep. And can use heroin. Mm-hmm. Or whatever,
methamphetamines.
Yeah, whatever, anything that they would normally be using anywhere else.
Intravenously, I think only, right? It's just that.
Yeah, I imagine there maybe people would slip in other things as well. I mean, I don't think they police the area.
A drug list?
You're not.
Oh, you're not on the list. Sorry, buddy.
You're not injecting. Get out of here. But the idea is that in this site, in this location, people would have access to clean needles and syringes, and I guess antiseptic wipes to make sure the skin's clean enough for an injection.
Mm-hmm. Professional oversight,
maybe
nurses.
Professional nurses oversight, and then also rescue medications like naloxone if someone would overdose.
Right.
That's
this is government funded.
Government funded,
right? Probably I'm sure there's probably
people are paying tax dollars,
right,
for this.
In your city, in our city, whatever city, where these people can go and not end up dying, which is the curse of the modern opioid epidemic, is people are dying. I think more young people die from overdoses now than car accidents, is what I believe I read. So
than car accidents, and actually, per year, more people are dying for overdose of opiates than per year American soldiers died in Vietnam.
Wow. So
the death rate exceeds the death rate of war.
That's
actual Vietnam level war.
Mm-hmm. So it's a big deal, and this is in response to some of the European cities and
Denmark
Finland
and I think Canada and was it Vancouver, Alberta, or something like that.
And it seems like that this is a harm reduction method. Obviously, it's not meant to get people into recovery; it's meant to keep them from dying. And keep people from... Actually, let's just put it this way. It's meant to give people a chance to stay alive long enough to get into recovery.
I think that's the ultimate, goal, is that eventually people will stop using that. But in the meantime, they won't die. Yeah. So that is harm reduction. Well, why not? Why not keep people alive?
That's a loaded question. Depends on who it is and if they owe me money or not. Well... we were talking about this, and I since I normally take the recovery side, since I'm in recovery myself, I think what stops people is they hear the catchphrase like harm reduction, and most people who are in recovery, especially 12-step groups, because they're so focused on complete and total abstinence, as they should be. Obviously, I'm not saying anything against that, but the mantra is total abstinence equals recovery, and harm reduction, such as a methadone program or any type of program that would keep people alive versus shove them into a change sort of mindset, is really not valid or not helpful. But I think that by doing this, people they look at it as maybe, I don't know, maybe a threat to recovery or a threat to the recovery mindset. People are very upset about it. I've heard people, just rail against this as if it's going to cause more people to use. It's going to exacerbate the problem versus help the problem. I don't know that I believe it's going to make it worse. I certainly would rather people not die. I mean, I know so many people in recovery who are the smartest, most amazing, capable individuals in my life that I've ever met. And if they would have died, then the world would be without those productive people. So.
Yeah, or on the other end, I know people who have died.
Oh yeah,
And the world is smaller, for that. So if it's that, but and also, I mean, it kind of touched on what seems almost like a binary vision of recovery or not recovery,
it's all
versus in between, kind of thing. And one of the, I wouldn't say vision, but an approach that's gaining a little more traction in the addiction treatment world.
The clinical side.
Clinical side has to do with this notion of the shades of recovery.
Mm-hmm. Sort of like the spectral approach.
Yeah, and obviously trying to move people to what you and I have talked about as recovery is the kind of personal growth, relationship growth, just being able to deal with things in a much better way than kind of relying on drugs, alcohol, whatever as a way of dealing. But this notion of recovery is maybe a little more accepting, perhaps, of some things that a traditional abstinence-based recovery would not be. So that's that may be one of the forces that's allowing the notion of the safe injection sites to grow.
I like that term, accepting, because I think one of the problems with seeking treatment at all is if a person is actively using, especially an opiate addict who maybe when you say the word bottom. For opiate addicts, it can be, the bottom is the bottom for many of them. And I think that fear of being judged, that fear of just people looking at them as junkies or whatever the derogatory term is, if they can go to a place and be treated as a human being, be helped, be talked to by a nurse, be a healthcare professional, and they can build a rapport. When that person is ready to get treatment, he may be much more willing to go and talk to, somebody he's familiar with at this site and say, hey, I think I'm ready to stop, versus... He doesn't know anybody.
Yeah. Something very similar I know here in Baltimore that, Baltimore has actually been at the forefront of the U.S. for needle exchanges.
I didn't know that.
And
really?
It's actually,
okay.
so it's the public health commissioner. This goes back quite a while. It's been really pushing for this. And what we found, so there was some data, U.S. data, to support not exactly safe injection sites, but at least the needle exchanges. It seems to drive down the incidence of needle-borne diseases like HIV and hepatitis, and seems to actually, for people who participate in needle exchanges, seems to, be a pathway that some people get into treatment.
Right.
Kind of the thing. If you go to a barbershop enough, sooner or later you're going to get your hair cut.
Right, sort of like the way they term it in negative with meetings, where if you hang out with users, you're going to use. If you hang out with some type of treatment professionals, eventually you might
sooner
get
or later, you just say,
like
well, I give it a shot, kind of thing. So the outcome's very positive with that in terms of cost benefit. The financial wonks in the city have decided that it's really a great investment. Saves a lot of money. Crime. I mean, it's still awful here in Baltimore, but the at least what the researchers would say that this has helped. It's a good investment and should be kind of expanded. So maybe that's what will come out with the safe houses.
The cost must be huge for overdose. For think about the community cost, the cost to the government, the cost to families. Just the immense cost for people losing their lives. I mean that alone to me would be worth it.
Yeah. Would you pay your tax dollars for that versus
yes,
a way to the $80,000 a year it costs to keep someone in jail, kind of thing. I mean,
Yeah, because they have a drug problem.
Because they have a drug problem.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense.
No.
Do you hear that, Mr. Sessions? Jail does not equal drug addicts.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry. We're getting political, and that's not our format. But it is true that helping them is much more efficient and better for everybody than punishing them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
all right. Anything else we should talk about with the safe houses? I think we kind of
I hope
we get that one up.
I hope they happen, and I'll tell you, if you feel that you're like, these guys are nuts, this is crazy, we want to hear everything you have to say about this subject. So down there, you will see our address, which is rockdocrecovery at gmail.com. So write in, tell us that we are amazing, or
that
tell us that we suck.
Completely nuts.
And send your questions too, because we can only ask the questions that you send us. So.
That's right. Yeah. All right. I think we wrapped that one up.
We nailed another one.
I'm Doc.
I'm Rock. See you next time.
See you.
All right. Mark will like these. I think these are light, but this one, I think, some good stuff.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer, but that's okay.
No, I think how long?
Well, it's about 10 minutes actually.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Mark and his metrics, they won't pay attention more than 5 minutes. If they like it, they'll keep watching.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good topic.
Mm-hmm.
How about recovery houses in neighborhoods? What do you think about that?